When I think about getting the most out of my Mac, I think about driving a car. At its core, the car is just this thing that helps me accomplish a very particular goal, which is to get from one place to another. I can treat this as a literal interpretation and simply get into the car, start it up, put it into gear, and drive off into the sunset. That's certainly one way you could treat your Mac. Power it on, log in, open a particular application such as Google Chrome, and just do browser-related work. Getting back to the car analogy, the more likely scenario is that I'm going to want to do things like adjust the temperature inside the car, maybe connect my phone via Bluetooth or even a wired connection using USB. I might put an address into a GPS application and then decide if I like the route the app suggests. Perhaps I feel more like taking the back roads instead of the highway, so I adjust my route by telling the GPS application I want to take the long way home. Then, knowing me, I'm probably going to want to adjust the height and tilt of the seat, the telescoping feature of the steering wheel until it's just the right angle and distance. That's how it is on my Mac as well. Maybe I want the dock to be on the left instead of the bottom of my screen, or maybe I want the dock to disappear when I'm not using it. Similar to driving a modern car, there are going to be comfort settings that make me feel more like myself, and the Mac operating system is really great about letting you customize to your heart's content. Or you can just get in, put it into gear, and drive around the web. There are things about my car I don't always like. For example, I feel uncomfortable when the door beeps every time I lock it because my neighbors just had a baby, and every time I go to lock my car, I imagine waking the baby up from a nap and the frown on the mom's face when that happens. I don't want to think about that every time I lock my car door. But as far as the car is concerned, it's just doing what it thinks I want it to do. This is exactly how computers operate. The computer needs input, and because my car is basically one big computer, there has to be a setting somewhere in my car's proprietary operating system that says, when Benny Green presses the arm button on his key fob, generate awful beeping sound for all the neighbors and sleeping babies to hear. That is kind of how I feel about the alerts on my Mac sometimes. You see, I'm a creative type and I do everything in my power to stay focused when I'm writing, and I don't always want to get an alert every time something happens. Let's say I'm sharing my entire desktop during a Zoom meeting, and this happens. I don't want this to happen any more than I want my car to emit high-pitched beeping noises every time I obsessively press the lock button on my key fob because I can't remember whether or not I already pressed it 6 times in the past 2 hours. Just like I have the power to turn off that wretched beeping in my car's remote locking mechanism, if I go searching deep enough in the Mac's operating system, I can take control of messages and alerts on my Mac. I wonder which of these settings will appeal most to you. Let's find out.